Give meanings. League, an association or a formal group of people. Fiery, very bright in color. Pawnbroker, a person who lends money at interest when valuable things are kept with him till the loan is repaid. Cellar, a room below ground level in a house used for storing things. Well suited, suitable. Diligently, carefully. Bade, said or wished. Dissolved, it means that the organization has come to an end. Answer the following questions. Who do you think is smarter, Mr. Wilson or his assistant? Give reasons for your answer. The assistant is smarter. He spotted the advertisement of the red-headed league and persuaded Mr. Wilson to apply for the job. On reaching Fleet Street, Mr. Wilson saw that it was full of red-headed people. He was discouraged and wanted to go back, but the assistant pushed through the crowd and into the office. Why was Fleet Street full of red-headed people? The advertisement asking red-headed men to apply for a well-paying job had appeared in a newspaper. Many redheads had seen it and come to Fleet Street in response to the ad. Who was well suited for the job? Mr. Wilson, who was a redhead, was well suited for the job. Why did Mr. Wilson accept the job? The pay was very good and the work was light. Besides, he had to work only for 4 hours daily. Spalding assured him that he would look after Mr. Wilson's business in his absence. Therefore, Mr. Wilson accepted the job. What do you have to do when you are told to apply in person? If I am told to apply in person, I would take my resume and go personally to the concerned office to submit it. Where will the advertisement given here be seen in the classifieds? The ad given here will be seen in the situations vacant section of the classifieds in a newspaper. Would you like to do such a job? Why? No, I would not like to do such a job. I would find it boring. I want a job which is interesting. Why would anyone want to copy an encyclopedia? Think of 2 good reasons. A person would want to copy an encyclopedia if he wanted to send some particular information to someone else, or it could be to keep a person completely occupied and out of trouble for some time. What would we do today if we needed copies of text from a big book? We should go to a photocopying shop and photocopy it or scan it and take a print. What would you advise Mr. Wilson to do in the given situation? I would have told Mr. Wilson to go to the newspaper office and find out who had inserted the ad. Then he could have approached that person and made further enquiries. If he did not find the person, I would have told him to go to a detective or a lawyer to find out. Find and write the description of different people given in this story. Character sketch. Sherlock Holmes, a private detective and the story's protagonist. His keen observations and ability to reason allowing him to solve puzzles that astonish everyone. Sometimes quiet and contemplative, other times bursting with energy, he uses methods that can confuse and frustrate others. He is somewhat a mystery, rarely letting his thoughts known until he has already solved the crime. Dr. John Watson, Sherlock Holmes' partner and the story's narrator. Good-natured, brave, and down-to-earth, Watson is Sherlock Holmes' sidekick, even though he rarely helps Holmes actually solve any mysteries, and Watson often mirrors the reader's own confusion. Jabez Wilson, a London pawnbroker. Jabez Wilson is an average man whose only remarkable feature is his lock of fiery red hair. His slow and trusting nature prevented him from seeing anything suspicious about either Vincent Spaulding or the preposterous red-headed League. John Clay Vincent Spaulding, a notorious criminal working at Jabez Wilson's pawn shop under the name of Vincent Spaulding. He is evil and haughty. John Clay catches the attention of Sherlock Holmes in spite of his clever plot. Duncan Ross, John Clay's partner in crime. Duncan's red hair prompts John Clay to devise the red-headed league to lure Wilson out of his pawn shop for 4 hours every day. Present Mr. Wilson's story as it would be shown in a comic strip. Write what picture you will show in each frame along with the dialogues. Write the dialogue with the help of the story. Examples: Frame 1, Mr. Wilson's shop. Spaulding to Wilson, will you take me as your assistant? I'll work for half the wages. Frame 2, Mr. Wilson's shop. Spaulding, sir, there is no work here. I'll go down to the cellar to develop my photos. Frame 3, Mr. Wilson's shop. Spaulding to Wilson, sir, look at this ad. It is for red-headed people. Characters: Dr. Duncan Ross, J.W. Jabez Wilson, V.S. Vincent Spaulding. Duncan Ross office. Duncan Ross to Jabez Wilson, congratulations, you have the job. Duncan Ross to other candidates, you may all go back now. The vacancy is filled. Jabez Wilson to Duncan Ross, what will be the pay, sir? Duncan Ross to Jabez Wilson, £4 a week. Jabez Wilson to Duncan Ross, but who will manage my business in my absence? Vincent Spaulding to Jabez Wilson, I will. You need not worry about it. Form groups of 5. Discuss how you can complete the rest of the story without referring to part 2 of the story. Mr. Holmes and Watson try to think out why the league shut so abruptly. Holmes feels he should meet Wilson at home to ask some questions that were bothering him. When he reached Wilson's house, he notices someone leaving the house. Mr. Holmes inquires about that person and understands that he was Wilson's assistant. Mr. Holmes feels that he has seen the assistant's face before. Later, he checks on records and finds out that the assistant is none but a notorious criminal Clay who was absconding. Mr. Holmes already had a sketch of Mr. Ross. On inquiring, he came to know that Ross and Spaulding were very close. Mr. Holmes goes to Mr. Ross' house and threatens him. Mr. Ross spills the beans that he and Spaulding were going to rob Mr. Wilson the very next day. Mr. Holmes informs the police and both Spaulding and Ross are caught and put behind bars. Frame simple sentences, statements, questions, requests, orders, permissions, etc. using the models listed above. We should eat healthy food daily. My sister would swim in the pool every morning when she was small. Children must respect their parents. All human beings ought to protect the environment. My father used to drive a motorcycle when he was young. We need not worry about the future if our present is good. Dare I climb this tree?